And a good morning to you. Welcome inside the Bottom Line. Lanny Ford Remember along with you this morning. My stupid MSN feed was blocking my temperature. It is 43 degrees. And I hate to mention this, but it's saying lightly polluted air. That's wrong.
Heavily
It's nasty.
polluted.
I can't breathe.
Oh, man.
My head is so stopped up.
Trying to open my eyes right now.
Oh, my
Let
gosh.
the singular kick in.
I take
I gotta
one
tell
every
you,
day.
dude, what a couple. It's been about a week and a half, 2 weeks now since all this mess. Is that how long it's been
Since the last rain, I guess.
it's
Good
about a
morning,
week.
Andrew. We were just discussing you earlier.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a good day.
Now, here's the deal.
Terrific Tuesday.
When they lose, I'm gonna put it fully on Andrew because he would not tell Dabo to make the change. I know they talk every night. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna let it go after that. I got some sad news that I want to pass along to you. I saw it when I got up this morning. Those of you that remember the struggle with cancer that Judd Harrelson has dealt with up in at West Lincoln, and I knew I didn't know him, I knew his mother. She was a student when I was there coaching. Great folks. He's just been through so much, and I feel for that whole family. I just can't imagine. I posted on when she posted about it this morning, I posted out this. I cannot even imagine what it would be like to lose a child. I just can't. So just remember that family. They have been through it, and he has been a trooper. I'm going to tell you he has been a trooper. Yeah. But, I just I feel for that family. I really do. And just remember them in your thoughts and prayers. It's going to be tough. Going to be tough. Richie, good morning. Milton, good morning. Andrew, good morning. Lindsay Lee, good morning. Richie said, had the TV on for some background noise while I was preparing some notes for work. The Virginia Tech Duke game from last year was on. Man, what did Fuente do to not play hooker and cause him to transfer? That's right. Thank you, sis. This is what Dabo does. They talk behind their papers. And Andrew said, I put it on you when they win. No, I don't. I'm a fan all the way, even in basketball. How about that? How about that, Blue Devil?
And now it's time for a commercial break.
Just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but when you lose a kid, talking about that kid, I remember when, they started, doing things and trying to help and just how,
community outpouring was unbelievable.
It was not only in West Lincoln. It was
everywhere.
And that was a great thing. And it's just
that's one of the things that travel ball and club ball and those things have done is it has spread the community. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because that was Barbie Dellinger posted a picture, and there's so many kids that have had connections either on the same team or played in tournaments and those kind of things. And that's huge that communities are able to cross school boundaries, county lines, and all come together.
We're a more mobile, interconnected society now, not only here but around the world. And, for the kids, a lot of times you hear about, travel ball this and travel that. A lot of times we tend to hate on the things that we don't fully understand or know about. And there's a lot of really good things that come out of kids meeting from different communities and playing together. It started with the AAU, and then, of course, now with us being a more mobile society and able to travel, more flexible work schedules, there's things that can be done. And, but you're right. That's one of the things, like there's, one of the teams that our local athletes lab team was playing against down, it may have been Spartanburg. They had a kid on their team down there that was going through some rough times, and they all kind of, did like not only fundraiser but just supportive things, and it's just it's a sad day, and definitely in West Lincoln.
It really is. Jeff Taylor,
all of us.
Jeff Taylor, good morning. Congratulations on your new son-in-law. I think Jeff had a daughter to get married over the weekend. Congratulations on that. let me get to a couple of topics here early. First one, we'll go last night. Bears beat the Patriots 33-14.
Wow. Did you see any of that game?
I did. I did. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think Fields is going to be a player, and I wasn't sure about that.
Quinn and I were talking about that last night when we first cut it on. I think they were just getting, just like 3 or 4 minutes into the game. And we were watching, and he said, "Dad, what do you think about that? What do you think about Justin Fields?" I said, "Quinn, I like him. I think he's a good guy. I think he's a hard worker. He looks like he tries to prepare. Now, do I know him or know anything about him? No. But I observe people, right? I don't really listen so much to what they say. I watch what they do. And the way he goes about his business and the way that he does things, he kind of, I don't think personifies the right word. He kind of exemplifies the things the attributes you want to do in order to try to be successful, right?
And my understanding is he's a good teammate, which is a part of that too. Yeah. He's got more than just the athletic qualities,
which is one of the characteristics that will take you the longest way. He seems to be. I guess that's what I was trying to say. He seems to be a really good teammate. That's a great point. Just watching his mannerisms and how you watch how the other players, communicate with him and how they are around him. Do they ignore him? No, they're interacting with him, right? You can tell about relation. You can tell a lot about a person about the way that others celebrate their successes or failures, and that's kind of it's like when a kid does something really well on a high school team. Are all the other kids happy for him, or are they just kind of going up and being nonchalant? You can tell who the good teammates are by the other kids being happy for that kid. And I think he's a good example of that.
Randy Fry, good morning. Glad to have you along with us. The big story is not the Patriots losing. Mm-hmm. The big story is the quarterback switch in game, and now Mac Jones is not happy. He has voiced his opinion because from what I heard last week when I was listening to the Talking Heads, he is a player that he doesn't question with disrespect, but he likes to understand why you're doing things.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. It's all in how you phrase it. It's all in how you phrase it and what your intention is.
Right.
His intention is more, I'm trying to understand so I can be better and I can make us better. Not questioning your decisions.
No. And that's the way. If you think about it, this guy has been groomed by NFL coaches since he got to Alabama.
Right.
Okay. And he played that 1 year and he was incredible, but he was prepared for that moment. He's been preparing to go to the NFL for about 5 or 6 years, right? And when you get there, when you are a straight shooter and you truly want to be better to help those around you, you're not afraid to do that and ask those tough questions.
But that don't work with Uncle Bill.
Well, but this is the thing about it. I think it does, just not on the stage. You know what I'm saying? I think that that he has no problem having direct conversations with people. I just don't think he wants it aired. That has to stay within the family. Now, do I know that? No, I'm saying that's what I think based on watching his personality. And, it's very interesting in life, right? Football's a great example of this. But anytime you question anything, if someone gets real defensive, real loud, real irritated, then something's not being told. Okay, the whole truth isn't out there, or there's a narrative behind it.
I'm completely okay to agree to disagree.
Yes, and that's why it's always interesting if you ask questions about what someone is doing, and they get real defensive about it, or they're like, "Well, I'm in charge, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that." Basically, what they're telling you is, "I'm just doing it for these reasons over here that aren't for the good of
and I don't
everything,
need to justify it, to
and I don't have to do that to you." Which you do. The attitude that you want to take when you're in charge, all right, is not that people work for you. Things like saying, "Remember who signs your paycheck," and all these things should never be said to someone that works under you, because we all have a hierarchical system when we're employed, right? It should be, your attitude should be, "I'm working on behalf of you. I'm working for you, even though you're in charge of the situation. That way everything stays on the level. When you're worried about power struggle, then that's when the tighter you grip, the more it slips through your fingers, right? It's the same thing here. How he handles this, how Belichick handles this, is all about how Mac Jones will continue to develop or not.
That's right.
Because he has nothing around him. You can't. The difference in
cover's pretty bare in New England.
The difference between him and Brady, and I don't mean from an athletic standpoint, I'm talking about from personnel. Brady, with his experience, could take that younger player and help them develop because of what he knew. Mac is still very young to the league. He's in his sophomore year, sophomore slump, right? He has to understand and keep learning. That's why he's frustrated. He wants to be better to try to make the people around him better. But until they put a couple of pieces in place, it ain't, this is what we're going to get. It's kind of like Pittsburgh.
Bill Klein, good morning. Happy late birthday to you. Milton says, how many Alabama quarterbacks have been good NFL quarterbacks? One. That would be Joe Namath.
Joe Namath.
That's it.
Now Tua is starting to develop and looks very – and Milton's
but
right.
The difference is, and this is why Tua's being successful is because Tua's being successful because they are building an offense around his skill set and not expecting things that he can't do.
And Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
Same thing. Now, to Milton's point, that is a great question because they've had like McElroy and all these great guys. But I will tell you that when you have training in place, all right, like Alabama has with the type of coordinators that they've got, they get these kids NFL ready, and that's why the great ones tend to flock there in certain positions.
Yeah.
Defensively, it is what it is. When you play under Nick Saban's regime, and it is that, and, defensively, you have a great shot to go to the NFL. Yeah,
Jeff's going way back. Jeff's going way back too. Kenny Stabler. The point is, not anybody in recent memory. There were.
What they call him, the Snake.
The Snake.
Yeah, absolutely.
Left-handed.
Right.
Left-handed. The Snake.
Oh, I know.
Now, let me go back to Richie had a question. Brandon. Yeah. Go back to this. Brandon said Ohio State holds the record for overrated NFL quarterbacks. College success doesn't lead to NFL careers. Normally, those talents have maxed out in college.
Yeah,
there's
right.
There's rumors that Carolina would like to take the quarterback Stout out of Ohio State.
Yeah,
the shoe doesn't produce quarterbacks. I mean, they just don't. And then the other question Richie asked that I want to make sure that we ask. He said, "I really thought the Patriots would come back. Is Jones overrated?" First of all, go back to your Brady comment. Brady had pretty darn good coaching around him to help him too.
Yes.
They're using a special teams coordinator and a defense coordinator who are sharing play calling duties on the offensive side. Yeah. So he has no real guidance.
I think it's where his frustrations come in.
So is he overrated? I don't think he's overrated, but he's a quarterback like they're doing with Tua. You got to play within his skill set and put the right tools around him, and he can play. I think that's what's going on in Denver. That's why Denver's such a train wreck.
Yeah.
It's because Hackett is trying to form Russell Wilson into what he wants him to be instead of taking Russell Wilson's skill sets that has been successful and building around it.
See, the big misnomer about New England is that everybody conforms to a system. It's not a system, it's the system.
Yes.
And I think, like, did someone have a question about Jalen Hurts?
No, they just said that's another quarterback out of Alabama.
Okay, so the thing is when you're in the system and not a system, like Nick Saban's a great example of this. And again, I went to East Carolina, full disclosure. I hate everybody, but all kidding aside, when I look at things and be able to give examples, that's why I'm not an Alabama fan. Okay, I enjoy watching all college football and appreciate the game. Okay,
correct.
I'm at that point in my life. It is what it is. Okay, but what we saw him do several years ago was get out of the eye, like with McCarron and some of those guys McElroy that won national championships, right?
But that came with new offensive coordinators.
Right. McCarron has two. Mm-hmm. But I think what Saban finally realized was, look, the game is changing so much that we're going to have to go more to a spread style offense to get these great two-way quarterbacks in. And once they come in, we will help them understand you can be a great two-way player, but that didn't work out well for Vince Young or Jamarcus Russell. What we're going to help you do is develop all of your skill set. Now, Jalen Hurts didn't have a choice, in my opinion. He finished his degree at Alabama. He won the SEC championship. Tua came back. They won or got beaten at. But anyway, the point is he did it right. The reason I'm a big fan of Jalen Hurts is because when Tua went in for him, he didn't pout. He didn't do anything. He celebrated with his teammates after the game. He went and fought the next year for a starting job. Tua beat him out, but yet he is the one that went in and won the SEC championship. Mm-hmm. He played that whole game and destroyed, destroyed whoever it was in that game. And then Tua came back and they played a national championship. But, there's so many things, Laney, that come from development and process, and instead of worrying about, well, did he win? Well, he's naturally going to win at some point when things are laid out and there's a developmental process. It's like that in anything you do, all right? And I can't say it enough. If you want what you're doing to be successful, the lead person, all right, has got to go about the business as if they are working for the benefit of those that they're in charge of. Mm-hmm. Control is a bad word. In charge of, okay? And when we don't do that is when we got major issues in the coaching ranks. And right now, you made a good point a couple 3 weeks ago about the NFL's kind of changed to where they're hiring just offensive coordinators as head coaches. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fine. Things go through. But in the end, substance will overcome certain styles. Substance is long-term, and substance is undefeated in the marathon. Mm-hmm. Not the sprint, but in the marathon. And we're going to see that with Kingsbury. We're going to see that with a lot of these guys. Head coaching duties is what it is. And you got to be able to know what your strengths and weaknesses are. And to develop these quarterbacks, it takes a lot more than just play calling.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. 2 examples of what you said. My boss, when he started Lincoln Bank, he used to make this statement. He said, because he was always about stockholders, the shareholders' returns.
Oh, having stake in the game, okay? Right? Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
and he was always, it's not about taking care of the shareholder. You take care of the employees who take care of the customers, yes. And then in turn, that will take care of the shareholders based on the business that and environment that you put them in. You don't go after the end result when there's pieces in between that have to be like, and that's what you're saying. Yeah. You don't just be in control. You make sure that you take care of the pieces as a group, and then the end result will be success.
Absolutely. See, I live that every day at Stiefel. Yeah, I've worked for firms before that were only worried about in my opinion, we're only worried about next quarter or 2 quarters out earnings instead of doing, that's why I'm not going to go into all that, but that's why I enjoy the place I'm at, because it's like, what do you need to help the people that you're helping?
If you take care of the underlying, yes. It will rise, and everybody's taken care of it.
It's incredible, and that's why, it is what it is.
Yeah. Let me take a break, and then when we come back, we will delve down a little college football. Charlotte 49ers are looking for a new coach. You interested?
I am not.
Okay.
But thank you for asking.
Okay.
I've retired as well. Me and Andrew have too many lunches to eat. I won't have enough time to eat with Andrew.
I understand. I understand. Back in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver, or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times.
Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Steeple Nicholas can assist you. Call 4 Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Steeple Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Welcome back. Need to mention, Forrest said he wasn't a candidate for that Charlotte job.
I can't imagine right now.
As he's got lunch plans with Andrew, and
that
I told him they're going to have to schedule around Dabo's schedule.
Dabo knows not to call.
I'm just saying.
Right, between 11:30 and 1. That's my time with Andrew,
I'm
not
just
his.
Saying. I'm just saying.
Let's just be very – and the Bull and G. And sometimes C Money, which is Coleman, and sometimes Quinzilla.
Okay.
Right? That's our time. That's what we do.
Richie said for a contract of a base salary of $505,000 and a $250,000 in compensation bonus possibilities and at least one $50,000 retention bonus, and then gets a $1.5 million buyout, he said he'd take the gig for 2 years, but he'd need a defensive coordinator.
Where's he talking about?
Charlotte job.
Oh, shit.
Charlotte job. Now, here's the other thing.
Maybe I'll be a consultant, and when they say, "What do you think about this?" That sounds good.
Let me tell you, it's not funny, but it's funny. Okay. Do you know who really wanted that job bad in the beginning?
No.
And they're still a successful first-time head coach? Mike Mentor.
Oh, at camp, yeah.
He wanted that job,
and they wouldn't.
He didn't have enough experience.
You know, I had a chance 5 years ago to meet him in Asheville.
Mm-hmm. Super guy.
5 years, 6 years ago, and he spoke to our group that we had up there, and it was he's incredible.
Yes,
and we had a couple kids that made maybe one or two that had gone down there, and I told them, I said, look, and I wasn't coaching over here at the time. I was just kind of, I was around and, just being supportive in whatever role, you know what I'm saying, just talk to kids or, whatever, right? I told those kids and their parents, I said, you can't find a better guy to go play for than that guy. And Campbell has built this stadium out in the middle of nowhere, and because it is, and it is. They play really good football. They are very fundamental. They play hard.
And let me tell you the other thing with Charlotte. I mean, they hired Will Healy based on the turnaround he did at Austin Peay, but he still had a losing record of like 15-24. Okay, at Austin Peay.
Yeah, right.
His record at Charlotte is like 13-21.
Yeah.
His conference record at both schools is identical, like at 10-14. And, you remember 2 years ago, he was the hottest topic around. He was being eyed for bigger jobs.
Yeah.
And only had one winning season in his career. And I would know him if he walked in.
Drinkowitz.
Okay? Drinkowitz is another one. Yeah. I mean, I
don't know, man. So,
Richie said that he thinks that Phil Longo,
that's a good chance,
the offensive coordinator at Carolina, the problem for Charlotte is going to be this. They're way over their head in the competition that they're trying to play. They're not that well established. They should have went FCS like Campbell did.
Yeah.
And Juju and I did this last night. We went through their conference opponents. Yes. They have no natural rivalries.
Right.
They have no way to build up anything. And they've tried to do some games with Appalachian, with East Carolina. I think they may even play Campbell, but it's going to be hard for them to ever get established at that level. And I don't think, this is just my personal opinion. Yes, Andrew, my daughter said that last night. Matt Rule is available and he's already been paid.
Yep.
The other side of it is, I don't think that Charlotte could ever look at themselves and say, hey, we may have jumped a little too soon. We probably need to drop back, and they're not going to get D1 talent. There's too many schools, like Juju said, there's way too many schools around here that's already established even though you take the Big Four, State, Carolina, Wake, and Duke, then East Carolina, then Appalachian.
Yeah.
And even Gardner-Webb, Campbell, some of these others that have been established for a while. How do you get kids to come? And I don't know if it's kids. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know what it is, but, we talked about it too. Two defensive players are starters in the NFL right now. Larry Obuchobi and Highsmith. Yeah. And they both came from Charlotte. Yeah. So they're getting some talent. I don't know what it is.
Well,
Richie said Rule's going to Gaston College.
Yeah.
That's what Lindsay said last night.
Yeah. I don't know. The NIL money is a great thing, and that's a place that we could look to see if they could get the talent in. The problem is when you come in, you can still go in the portal. Mm-hmm. And you say, okay, well, how am I loyal to that money? How are those contracts worked out? I'm being paid to come here, but yet I can get in the portal and go somewhere else after I get paid. So there's a lot of things.
Brandon mentions that.
Okay.
And he says they just need the boosters kicking that NIL money. Charlotte has it just they need a coach to help get their support. Mm-hmm. There's going to be the problem. Who's going to come and want to take over that is, I guess, a little more experienced, seasoned? Unless you go like, you remember when, and Juju and I were talking about this too, Goldsmith went back to LR. He'd been at Duke. And he kind of settled that program down, and that's kind of helped get LR started to where they are today.
Oh yeah.
But who's going to do that in today's world, in today's market?
I don't think there's that kind of planning either. And I think you brought up a good point earlier. Campbell knows where they are. Charlotte does not.
You have to understand who you are.
Yeah.
And Andrew brought up the point also, they're moving to the AAC, which is going to be even tougher with no matchups. Now, East Carolina's an AAC, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's one.
Yeah.
Todd says Charlotte has the media market and the dollars to be successful, but boy, have they dropped the ball. And that's how they made the jump, because they're in the 21st, 22nd largest TV market, and that's why they warned them. Should have taken baby steps, Big South, SoCon, then after 17 years, move up, no long-range plans. Football teams in Charlotte have been a problem. But the other problem, Todd, is this, and we were handling ESPN as their ESPN was handling their media when they started football.
Mm-hmm.
They're a basketball school.
Yeah.
And they never really did the long-range plan and goals on how to build this thing to be competitive. We need to get this in here. That's kind of where it came from.
Basically what happened.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of one of those things that it's kind of one of those things, too, Lanny, like when you're trying to take your football program from where you are and you know where you are and you're established and you start getting big wins, but then you drop other games that are not near as significant as those big wins, then it's all about planning and how do you go through this. And, my thing is like for an Appalachian State, right, where do they go the next 10 years? They beat A&M and then they lose to West Texas.
Texas State.
I'm sorry, Texas State. God, I'm thinking Varsity Blues here. Wow, it's early. But, and again, criticism, no. What I'm saying is, where do they go from this? How do they build upon these big wins but get the consistency they need for the other things? And it's kind of what a lot of people had talked about was you get up for these games, but when you play in these large conferences, you don't really get up for every game, you prepare for every game. And that's the difference between hype and it being stylistic and substance being sustainable and long-term. And so I think that's the next step.
And Richie makes a good point right here. I like Bob's thing was cue George Jones with who's going to fill their shoes.
Yeah.
Richie makes a good point. Charlotte's like Miami, kind of, in that if things aren't good in college sports, there's plenty of other things to do. That's why they struggle if the Panthers aren't good. It's no big deal. I could do something else. And there's no real commitment and dedication there because there hasn't been a real commitment and dedication to make the product good. You got to make the product good, make it consistent, and then you can build it. And if you don't, if it's this roller coaster, then your support's going to be that same roller coaster. Now, Brandon said, and Scott's probably going to get the axe at Louisville this year. Maybe he'd roll down here.
Yeah.
Somebody else would pick him up above Charlotte. I'm not kicking Charlotte around. I'm just saying. Richie said it also. Charlotte is still a startup, and they should have started lower, and they couldn't. They are still living in the Lee Rose basketball era of mid-'70s. I mean, Bobby Lutz had some success there, but, they went to a Final Four with Cornbread Maxwell.
Oh, yeah.
But those days are gone and probably not coming back, when you look at that. Let me take a break, and the reason I got to take a break is because I was out there mowing and I got to move my car.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. Got my car moved. It's all good. I didn't want to get in the way of the mowing man. I always park close to the grass in the parking lot on the very end parking space and make sure I give lots of folks room. The ladies here next to my neighbor, hairstylist, and sometimes there's older folks that come in that need a little extra help getting out, and I just want to make sure I leave plenty of room for them. So I need to go out there and do it.
My stylist is really good.
That was fresh Friday night.
Dude, it was.
It was. You freshened that. I saw that. I saw that. Y'all were very impressed, especially the G Dog out on the field. I'm sorry, nothing takes the place of the bull.
Yeah.
The bull's out there, everybody can see him front and center.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Love the bull.
It's very important. I guess at some point I need to start calling him Harry or Harrison. It's just hard.
I love him.
He's the bull.
Yeah, I love
He's the bull. Bob said the 49ers followed the Panthers game plan, obviously. Well,
God.
the only problem with that statement, Bob, is neither one of them have a plan. So it doesn't really – you can't really say that. I think you got to have a plan to follow a plan, and I haven't seen a plan.
If you fail to plan, you're planning to
fail. Stacy said, hey, my Bears didn't suck last night. I know, Stacy, between your Bears and your Vols, you kind of made a turnaround a little bit.
Yeah, it's a Bears fan. Fantastic. Good for you.
It'll be interesting to see what Charlotte does moving forward. And they moved to the AAC. I don't know if you've looked or you've thought about this, but they pick up Tulane, Cincinnati, Central Florida, Houston, East Carolina, Memphis, Navy, SMU, Tulsa, Temple, and South Florida.
Can I say it? Wah, wah, wah.
I mean, the only thing
where you going to get a win out of that?
The only thing that helps there is East Carolina.
Where are you going to get a win out of any of that?
You can't find your wins in the conference you're in. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, Tulane?
And here's the thing. You get outside of East Carolina, your next closest game is Memphis.
Dude. What?
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
What? Temple?
Do you know what that move was made for? That's a basketball move. You remember when Charlotte used to be, when Huggins was at Cincinnati, that was a big matchup? I think that was a basketball move. I really do. God. Anyway, that's just what I think. And nobody really cares what I think except me. I like my opinions sometimes.
How about LSU's turnaround? Brian Kelly.
Do I have to like LSU?
Brian Kelly calls his coaches out, calls his players off, so they win too.
I don't like LSU. Do I have to like LSU?
I tell you, the bones are there, man. The bones are there. And, the thing about it, too, is with him, he's put kids in the NFL, and he's got NFL staff around him.
I know.
And he's smart. I mean, it's not – people that are great head coaches, okay, hire extremely qualified people around them. Like it's like Saban said. Somebody asked him, said, why did when he hired
Sark?
No, the other one. Kiffin. Golly, so early. He said, why'd you hire Lane Kiffin? Said, because he was the best available offensive coordinator out there, and that's what I wanted.
And, it takes a lot when you're a coach like Saban or Kelly or Dabo, and this is one of the things, sorry, Andrew, that I think Dabo slips a little bit on. You have to be willing to hire the best available for what you need and not feel threatened.
Well, think about Clemson's culture. It's kind of like Carolina's basketball culture in a way, and then Duke's now. You know what I'm saying? Like they stay in the family. And, that's kind of the way they do it, where Alabama tried to do that for years and years, and it became became a losing proposition. They said, you know what, we got to go get the guy.
Yeah.
And then that guy's brought in all the other guys. And then when they did that, they started winning and producing pro guys.
And here's the deal.
And holy moly.
If Nick Saban can bring in people like that and give up some control, I'd say
I don't think he gives up control, though. I think what he does is he brings them in and he says, okay, this is what I want done. Now I want you to show me the best way to do this.
Yeah, but Saban has changed the way he does things offensively because he knew he had to.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's like going from the pro eye style, to more of a spread. But they still run a lot of the eye plays. They just do it differently, right? And having Sark come in, I mean, it's like it's a place for, I wouldn't say second chance, but you could say that. But what it is like, okay, look, I'm getting these great people in around me that need to get grounded themselves so they can take the next step, and that's what they do.
It's not any different from Belichick.
Right.
He recognizes talent, and he comes in and he's able to kind of help groom them to get them back on the right track.
Yeah.
Belichick did it with players. Saban's done it with coaches, and it's paid off.
Belichick's done it with coaches too. He let Matt, what's his name, the defensive coordinator. Now he's an offensive guy, but he was his defensive coordinator, Patricia. If I'm not mistaken, I think he is a rocket scientist.
And
I
he
could
brought,
be wrong.
And he brought back
but I think that's right.
Josh McDaniel too from Denver.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
And Joe Judge.
Yeah. But these are guys that understand his system
Yeah.
and what the expectation is, and they're allowed to flourish under that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can they do it on their own? We'll see. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it takes more than one or two times. But you're talking about somebody, a team that's flopping. Tampa Bay. Gehrig was losing his mind.
You better get him some medication because Tommy's done. You can put a fork in him. He's done after this year.
I don't think he is. I think he comes back, and I think he's more adamant than ever about getting things fixed. But there's a reason, and people criticize head coaches all the time, but Bruce, there's a reason they wanted Bruce Arians as their head coach. Mm-hmm. Okay? And I'm not taking anything away from Todd Bowles because he's really good and he's a good guy.
No. Todd Bowles is a great defensive coordinator.
Right.
All great coordinators don't make great head coaches.
No, that's true. But, my thing is how much did he learn from the time he was, I believe, with the Jets when he was the head coach, which, I like him a lot.
I do too.
And I want to see him be successful because I think he's a good person and he truly cares about people. But, only time will tell and the proof's in the pudding. I mean, the two things that we, say quite often.
Richie says Bill O'Brien running that offense. That he's talking about Alabama. Right? Bill O'Brien is still at Alabama. Yeah. Not a fan. Still not a fan, sorry. Look at schedule this week. Virginia Tech comes to NC State.
Yeah, it's a massacre.
And that on whose part?
State.
But their quarterback's out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The Raging Cajuns travel to Southern Miss, Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Been there more than I want to think about. Utah goes to Washington State. That's your Thursday night games. Friday night games, your ECU Pirates travel to Provo, Utah to take on BYU. Louisiana Tech is at Florida International. And then Saturday, big matchups. How about Ohio State at Penn State?
By 60.
That's noon.
By 60.
You think so?
Oh, they're going to wear them out.
Okay. TCU at West Virginia, Notre Dame at Syracuse. Syracuse
going to wear Notre Dame.
I think Notre Dame's looking for another coach next year.
To the shed, man.
Looking for another coach next year.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with giving opportunity to people, but I think when you've got a ship that's that big, Lanny, you've got to go out and find someone that has steered a ship so then they can come in and help a young person make them the interim or assistant head coach for a few years and get that person ready.
The other side was
he
should have brought in an experienced head coach as a coordinator to kind of.
And that's what I'm talking about. If you're going to go that route, that's a great point. You bring in somebody that's been there and done that so they can help guide you through it, and you got somebody to reflect with.
Mm-hmm. Jordan Air Stadium in Auburn, Alabama. It'll be two mules fighting over a turnip. Arkansas against Auburn.
Arkansas just fell off the map.
If Arkansas wins, I'd say Auburn is looking for a new coach.
Again.
Yeah.
Again.
Oklahoma at Iowa State. Boston College at UConn.
I'm taking Iowa State, man.
Georgia Tech at Florida State. South Florida at Houston. Miami at Virginia. Charlotte's going to travel to Rice down in Houston, and that's going to be bad. Old Dominion at Georgia State. That will be a good game. Florida at Georgia. That is the world's largest cocktail party. It says at Georgia, but it's not. It's in Jacksonville. That's where they play that. Georgia, Florida is always in Jacksonville. World's largest cocktail party. Some folks would like to see that change to a home and home. Yeah. Oregon's at Cal. Oklahoma State at Kansas State. Number 10, Wake Forest at Louisville. If Louisville gets hammered, Scott may be on his way out this week.
Louisville's going to get hammered. They're going to get beat by 50. Now, they may not beat them by 50 to make sure that, but it's going to be bad.
Illinois takes on Nebraska. Cincinnati at Central Florida.
Illinois is an interesting team.
I don't even know who Robert Morris is, but they roll into Boone this weekend. Drinkwater goes down to Williams-Brice, and he'll get wore out by the chickens, much as I hate to say that. Kentucky at Tennessee. Is that a
it's at Tennessee.
It's at Tennessee.
If it was at Kentucky, I might, it ain't happening.
Okay.
And I'm not saying I would pick Kentucky. I'm saying it would be a little bit more interesting, but Tennessee's at home. And let me tell you something. Josh Heupel is, can I say pissed on there?
Yeah.
He's the most pissed off coach in America. He wanted that Oklahoma job. He got shafted. Now he's going to show you what he can do. And in about 3 years.
Which one would you have rather had?
Me?
Tennessee or Oklahoma? In today's landscape, I'd rather have Tennessee.
Well, no, and I understand
nobody's
that.
going to freaking Oklahoma.
No, I understand that. But I think from his standpoint, being an alum and doing all the things that he's done for the university, that that was one of those things. And I'm going to tell you what, it's going to be hard to pry him away from where he is. Mm-hmm. But he is the most intense, focused. I'm going to show you what you should have done. Now, it's not talking about Venables shouldn't have got the job. That's not what I mean. He's on a mission. Mm-hmm. And when he does have the opportunity to go to Oklahoma, it'll be Rockefeller generational wealth, okay? Like 6 generations, and the trust is still giving out $50 million a year to charity, okay? It's going to be that kind of thing because with what he's going to do at Tennessee, he's going to be a top 5 team the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Telling you, man.
Coastal goes to Marshall. That'll be a good game. I like both of those teams. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Let me run back here just 1 second. BYU's been running into problems here lately. They couldn't get anything going in a blowout loss to Liberty. Yeah. Liberty's just head and shoulders above a lot of folks.
That was strange, though. BYU's got, like, it seems like they have a lot of tools and that they would, have a – I guess to that – was it Richie? I don't know who said it. Was it okay? I guess to his point, should have had a maybe significantly better year.
Michigan State is going to get hammered up in the big house.
That's another one. The landscape may be changing.
That's a 7:30 game on ABC. 193 is the lowest ticket you can get to that.
And it's I
can at least say that I've been there one time.
I don't know if Michigan and Ohio State, for example, become like, where are they right now? Are they 5 or 4?
Michigan, 4.
And where's Ohio State?
1. No, 2. They're Georgia's 1.
Okay. So if they end up, obviously they will. I say when they play each other, and it's a 1 or 2 point game, how do you keep the other one out of the championship game? This is what's crazy.
I'm not sure that the 4 teams that are right there now
are going to be there. Right?
Are going to be there.
But think about
the 4 best teams in the nation.
But think about this. This is entirely possible. All right, Tennessee has beaten Alabama. Georgia, if they beat Tennessee, all right, and then Alabama. Now, hold on, just follow.
I know
Alabama
it's
beats
a 3-way.
Georgia.
Yeah.
One of those 5 teams is not going in.
Yeah.
And it's my bet that it's either going to be Ohio State or Michigan, whoever loses, and they'll take 3 SECs and then 1 Big Ten.
I think they don't take Alabama because they want a different mix from a TV standpoint.
If Alabama wins the SEC championship.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yes.
No, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. If there became a 3-way, and I won't say tie, but a 3-way who beat who, then that's going to, I don't know.
Is Jimbo in trouble at A&M?
Maybe next year.
Okay.
I think there's still.
I think Ole Miss rolls in there and rolls them up.
Well, it's a good possibility, but this is it too. I think Saban was setting this whole thing up.
Yeah.
Because he didn't believe they were going to be that good, and he was calling them out to get all the attention diverted them to put the pressure on to make them fold. And this is what happened.
I think this could be a scary game in Chapel Hill this weekend. Pitt rolls into Chapel Hill.
Did Carolina get ranked?
They're 21st.
They are?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
That'll be a good game, too. I'm a little surprised that's only on the ACC network. That may be of the games that are on, I don't think any of them will be competitive but that one as far as the night game. Well, the Marshall Coastal game will be
that will be a great football
game. And Kentucky, Tennessee
will be
that'll
great
be a good
game.
On ESPN.
Yeah.
What's funny is the Marshall Coastal game is going to be on the NFL Network. I've never seen a college game on the NFL Network that I know of.
What do you mean?
That's who's carrying them. That's where you can watch that game on the NFL Network. So it says.
Holy cow!
Yeah,
that's cool.
So I don't know. Good week of college football.
Exciting.
Good week of college football. We got to sneak out of here. Just in case you're wondering, we will be back. Why am I still on? We will be back. We will be back tomorrow morning for a Wednesday edition.
Yep.
Richie said Carolina's going to have to load the box to stop Pitt running back. Not even going to try to spell it. Hey, here's the deal. Carolina doesn't play defense. They don't play defense.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that can happen, Richie.
I got to tell you, I think Carolina's actually recruiting a lot of offensive kids to switch them over on the side of the ball.
To play them on defensive side of the ball?
Get them in there. Get them convinced
Well, you know
this
what?
is the quickest route.
You know what? Mike is back.
Neither one of them are, Jones or.
It's bad. It's ugly. Have a great Tuesday, everybody. 44 degrees, sunshine. We'll see you in the morning, Wednesday morning, right here on the Bottom Line.